Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today on the website of Thomson Roddick Callan auctioneers based in the UK, more specifically in Scotland, and they have some musical instruments for sale as part of their latest auction. This is coming up on the 16th of May. It is the 4th of May today, so a fair few days left to go, but I thought it'd be nice to have a look at the catalogue. Not too many items for sale in this musical instrument part, only 44, but still definitely worth a look. Looks like the buyer's premium on this auction is 24% or potentially 27.6% if you're doing it online, etc. But do check out the terms. This is a UK based auction, so if you're outside of the UK there might be import fees, shipping, export, all of that stuff, CITES restrictions, so do check that out. Right, so without further ado, just to say, if you do enjoy these videos, please consider liking, subscribing, turning on notifications, etc., or comment. All very useful. Right, without further ado, because there's only 44 items, let's have a look. So we've got a fretless banjo here, circa 1900, stamped Ball B. Bevan and Co. London. So 2 to 400 on that. I will just zoom out slightly to make it a little bit easier for us to see on one page. 2 to 400 is the estimate on that. Not too much kind of extra information on that, but as always, most of these auction houses, you can ask them for more pictures or more information and they will usually supply it to you. So J.E. Dallas & Son 5-string banjo here, 100 to 150 on that. Nice back on that. Later Machine Heads, original in case. So there you go. Looks like it's Jedson on the headstock there. Not super knowledgeable about banjos, so if anyone is, please feel free to say. So Gibson ES335 TD guitar, circa 1965, apparently 3 to 5 on this. Interesting looking guitar there. I really don't know enough about the intricacies of kind of Gibsons and Fenders to know what's kind of real or not, and what's period correct and what's been replaced, so we must assume that they have consulted some kind of experts on that, but if not, there are people around that do know a lot about this stuff. Trogley's Guitar Show, I think, is the main person that springs to mind, has been quite knowledgeable, so you could always kind of ask an opinion over on that channel. Right, I've got a Vox VG6 semi-acoustic electric guitar, circa 1970. This is a familiar guitar that we sometimes see in some of the auctions. I don't think historically that these have been particularly great instruments, but they are kind of interesting from a nostalgia point of view. So 3 to 500 on that. Got an Avon Rose Morris electric guitar, like one of the shops that was about. I don't really know the origins of these things, but kind of interesting bolt on neck there. 60 to 80 is not unreasonable. Got a Thompson 5-string resonator banjo here, 60 to 80. Not a lot of information on that one either. Epiphone Dot double cutaway, looks like a kind of modern one, 100 to 150 on that. Pictures are kind of decent enough for what it is. An Aria L-Accord acoustic here, so probably made in Korea, I would think. 100 to 200 on that. Got a left-handed Fender Strat there, USA, mode 1. So it'll be handy for the left-handed. 1000 to 1500 on that. Once again, I'm not really too au fait with telling what's correct or not on those, but anyway, we've got a Charvette by Charvel. I think they're lower tier stuff there. 150 to 250 there. Good bit of kind of 80s rock guitar going on there. Right, we've got a Busha saxophone here, 800 to 1200 on that. Engraved Busha Elkhart. A Vito alto saxophone there. 150 to 250. Quite a nice case on that. Interesting. Right, more saxophones, right, quite a few. Vintage soprano saxophone, engraved 13 on the edge of the bell, 60 to 80. It's quite interesting how many saxophones are floating about. I wonder if it's just that if you're a saxophonist, do you just have multiple saxophones? I guess so. Or is it just coincidence? So, King Cleveland alto saxophone, stamped King Cleveland. Doesn't look like anything too crazy there. 3 to 500 on that. USA. Right, the Emoliana by Martin alto saxophone. Elk half find or something, saying 3 to 500. Interesting. Right, moving away from saxophones. Oh, we've got some bowed instruments. You've got an English cello circa 1790, 2 to 4,000 on that, with a Schumann carbon bow. Okay. Well, quite difficult to tell much from those photos. Be interesting. I presume they've consulted someone to say why it's English, but okay, interesting. German cello by Konrad Gotz, 1974, so it's one of these kind of student ones of the time, but probably good enough. 1,000 to 2,000 on that. Oh, nice, old Selmer True Voice amplifier here, 2 to 400. These are quite popular. Got a Vox Lead 50, circa 1970, 150 to 250, that distinctive kind of front cover there. Hofner Western Jumbo from 51-55 model, 3 to 500. Okay, oh, it's an electroacoustic. Interesting. Lacknell and Co 30 button concertina here, 3 to 500. We know these are always popular. This one maybe not as nice as some of the other ones that we've seen, but they always seem to do pretty well. Right, we've got a couple of violins. Interesting one here. English violin by Ian Wilson, Carlisle, 1909. 360 length of back. Interesting F-holes on that. Quite moustachy. Looks like some of the corner work is a bit broken. But some of the varnish is starting to crackle there. Yeah, interesting enough. Depends how much it goes for. 100 to 200 on that. Got a JTL violin, circa 1900, so some kind of French instrument. Quite a nice back on that. Yeah, actually doesn't look too bad, that one. That will probably do fairly well. It'll be quite popular. Everyone seems to like these French instruments at the moment. 2 to 400. They've got some other pictures there, so I think a few people could be interested in that. There seems to be a bow with it as well. Let's have a quick look. Let's do a zoom. Kind of difficult to tell anything from that. But 357 length of back. Right, a bow. Pace-old cello bow there. Only 100 to 150 on that. Needs definitely a bit of... and you see that big break actually there at the head. So that's unfortunate. Restoration to stick at head, yeah. Right, a Moek Descant recorder there. With an Ariel treble recorder. Interesting there. 100 to 150 on that. I got a couple of more bows. Silver mounted bow. Interesting frog. Okay. It looks a bit of a funny bow there. Does almost seem that this looks like a nickel adjuster, I think, and it's just a silver thing. So yeah, that is an unusual looking frog. The stick doesn't look particularly nice. 100 to 150 seems very optimistic. Nickel mounted cello bow stamped Viome, 100 to 200. It's this kind of Viome model frog with the slightly rounded edges. Interesting fitting there. Once again, I don't think that's a particularly great looking bow personally. Right, cello bow, round stick, plain frog, 100 to 200. Yeah, hard to tell from the pictures, but slightly more interesting than some of the others. Right, we're on to more violins again. Small French violin, circa 1900. 100 to 200 on that. Looks like your typical kind of like Medifino type thing. 330, so it's a 3/4 size violin. Scottish violin by D.R. Lindsay, 1902, labelled as such. 2 to 400 on that. That's a fairly kind of nice looking instrument there. Yeah, quite nice back. Does look possibly maybe some crack at the button or something before, but yeah, looks pretty good. 2 to 400, not unreasonable at all. Looks fairly decently made. Right, Scottish violin by Williamson. Just that. Scottish violin by Williamson, Blythe, Edinburgh, circa 1892 to 400. 360 length of back. 2 to 400. Let's have a look at that. Once again, looks fairly respectable. Okay. Yeah, it's difficult to tell from this one. Looks, yeah, it's one of these instruments you'd have to look at in person. From this, it looks very much quite like a mass-produced instrument, but really difficult to say from these pictures. Right, an interesting violin, School of Bella Zepesi, circa 1900. Okay, 1000 to 1500. Okay, labelled Stradivari. Okay. It seems like quite an odd attribution, to be honest. Not really sure about that. 1000 to 1500 seems quite optimistic, but you never know. People see things or consult people and find out interesting information. Right, Wood King Tip Bell soprano saxophone there, 100 to 150. These are quite nice pictures actually. This looks like quite a modern instrument. It's this kind of metal finish that's quite like matte finish. Right, we've got some accordions here. Let's just have a look at a couple of these. Hohner accordion there. It's fairly decent there. 2 to 300. I'm not sure what the accordion market is like at the moment, but be interesting to know. 100 to 200 on this one here. Setimo one here, quite nice green colour on that. It's a bit more interesting. 1930s. Got a Hohner Merino there as well. Hohner Electrovox, another Electrovox there, so nothing too crazy. 1970s Fender Music Master bass amp, 2 to 400. These are quite quirky little amps, I think. Nice shot of the tubes there. I think that's fairly interesting. Right, another bow. So quite randomly organised, this auction. Right, a silver-mounted French violin bow by A. Lamy, stamped Lamy à Paris. Right, 60 grams, full hair, 1500 to 2.5 there. Okay, it looks like a nice enough bow, so I'm sure that'll probably do quite well. Boozy and Hawk clarinet. We've always got to have some kind of clarinet in these auctions, don't we? There's always one. Right, a Jose Ramirez III Spanish guitar, labelled Modelo de Conservatorio. Okay, 1000 to 1500 on that. Yeah, nice looking guitar. Nice wood, nicely made. So that's pretty good. It looks like it's strung left-handed actually. It's interesting. Or they've reversed the things. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going blind. Just very strong colour of that string, so ignore me. Right, what's going on here? Baldwin jazz bass guitar here, 6 to 800 there, 1967 one. I think there are people that do collect these, so I'll probably do well. Looks like a grand piano but without images, so we can only guess. Victorian Collard and Collard grand piano, 5 to 700, but no images at all. Anyway, so this was the Thomson Roddick Callan auction, which is coming up in the next couple of weeks on the 16th of May. Yeah, kind of interesting mix of different stuff, like a few interesting bits for everyone. Nothing too crazy, but interesting enough. So I'll put a link in the description as always. Check it out, see what you think, and I'll catch you next time. Ciao.